There, I'm back on the virtual reality welding set. It's a Lincoln Electric model, and I've already shown you the metal inert gas or metal active gas, the MIG-MAG setup. Today I thought I'd have a little play around. I'm just waiting for my class to start, and I'm going to have a look at the shielded metal arc welding process, otherwise known as manual metal arc. So let's take a look at that. I've changed the torch head over. I'll let you have a quick look at the features of this one. Before I show you that, I just thought I'd run down the actual unit. So it's the Vertex Transport Plus Virtual Reality Arc Welding System. It runs 2 stations simultaneously. We can have 2 torches and 2 screens. I'm currently just using the 1 screen due to this space. So on the screen we've got various options. Right now you're looking at a weld booth, so we can simulate the welding booth if we like. Or we can go to the desert base, which we've got obviously a different situation. This is what you're looking at when you've got your virtual reality headwear on. So you're working in a desert base on that one. We can move up for the motorsports, so we're working inside a garage. So when we look around, we see ramps, we see vehicles, typical workshop equipment for the automotive industry. And then finally, for the heavy stuff, we're working inside the power plant. So there's the various options which we can select for the virtual reality worlds, and it's a pretty good range of options. Obviously we've got the original welding bay, which simulates life inside any fabrication and welding workshop. So let's have a little forward move, and I'll just move through the program. So we have to set what we call the parameters, the welding parameters. All the information will come in the manual, so it's a case of reading through the manual, which is actually a welding procedure, a WPS, weld procedure specification. So the information from the weld procedure is gathered, and the information is then pre-entered onto the machine. The only thing I've noticed is with a real welding machine you can get away with the parameters being slightly different. So when you're using this virtual reality, you've got to get the parameters 100%. So for example, if it says it's operating at 85 amps, if you set it to 90 amps, you probably won't be able to strike an arc. So we have to make sure that everything is as it says on the welding procedure. But we all know that you can vary it in the real world slightly, and that's down to the individual's welding technique. So we've selected direct current positive as our main power supply. We've got 85 amps. It does give us the option of plus or minus 5 amps. So if you look at the amp range there, it shows plus 5. So it's also giving us a guide to the travel speed. This particular weld is 3 runs, so we've got a root run and we've got a couple of stringer beads to go and basically build up the size of the weld. It's going to be a fillet weld. We're going to do a T-fillet joint. The sample is simulated. There's various different samples. This is the T-fillet sample. These are made out of kind of a plastic, whatever it's used, some kind of cast plastic. They can be changed into different positions, so you can see the different position mounting. So we can have vertical, horizontal. We can also have different angles. The unit or the workbench is part of the setup, which is quite handy. And obviously we've got the electrode holder. So this is the electrode holder. So the difference between this is you've got a virtual electrode, which is a lot longer than that. It probably will be about another 10 to 15 centimeters or 150 mil longer. So that's the virtual reality manual metal arc electrode holder, and yeah, we're ready to give it a go. Let's move to the next stage. So as I browse through, I've just got to the next stage, see if we've got the parameters set up correctly. If we have, we will be straight onto the screen which we want to operate from, and that's coming up now. So with this particular one, I've selected the workshop. This is a virtual reality view that you're getting. So I'm using the virtual reality headset here, and we're just looking around, and you can see the screen is obviously what we're seeing through the headset. So we've got the torch, the electrode holder. You can see the electrode holder there. It's quite good. Obviously a lot longer with the electrode. I've already struck up on that one. And then there's a test piece. So much more difficult to operate than the MIG and control. I'll just give you a quick demo. So yeah, I would say a lot more realistic than the actual MIG welding one, and a lot more difficult as well, to be fair. The welding test piece on the screen, just have a quick look through what we've got here. So we've got the different parameters which we can clearly see on the screen, which gives us our information regarding the position, travel angle, travel speed, work angle, arc length, and if you're doing any other processes you can find out if you've got defects such as porosity, undercut, spatter, all that kind of stuff. So we can set all those things up. We can probably just put them on now, just click on them or click off them, they will select whatever we want. When we go further back we can see the actual view from the virtual reality headset. There's the test piece as we look at it, so that's what you actually see when you're wearing the virtual reality setup. And then here's the electrode holder. I'll just bring that into the view. So there's the electrode. We're running a 3.2 electrode manual metal arc. There's the electrode holder. This is much more trickier, much more skills required, a lot more skill required than the actual MIG one. So I'm just going to move on a little bit to a different view. It'll be a bit easier to capture. And I'll try a weld. So the skill levels on this one pretty realistic to the real thing. So as we bring the electrode down, we drag this obviously, we get it into the corner hopefully. I've not got the virtual reality goggles on, I'm just looking at the screen on the touch button screen, so hopefully I'll get that going. So I'll just stop there. So I've not really played around with this. So it's my first mess around on the MMA. Let's have a quick clean up. A little bit of porosity forming. So you can see I've got not the best welding there. So let's try a little bit more. Let's get a new stick or a new electrode. We'll have another coupon and just give it a second. But oops, a bit of straight arcing going on. So yeah, it's pretty realistic. I would say that's quite tricky to do, maybe a little bit more difficult than the real thing. So obviously a good way to practice. Let's just see how terrible that was, which I'm sure it was pretty terrible, and it was. So we can see the parameters are not good. But yeah, good fun. That's the Lincoln Electric Virtual Reality Welding Station for the Manual Metal Arc, and as you can see, I've put the most terrible weld you could possibly imagine down virtually. Let's hope my real one do a little bit better. But you can arc up more or less where you like, so you can practice. Saves you an awful lot of material. As we bring that electrode down, probably need a new stick. I'll just try that again. New coupon. Easy enough to set up, pretty good. Realistic. So I can see I'm pushing the electrode through the plate. Too far, so I brought it back, got the correct distance away. That's the difficult bit, to judge it. A few goes at it and I'll probably start to produce a reasonable weld profile. But yeah, that's yet to be debated. So I hope you've enjoyed this particular look at the welding setup, and hopefully you can do a far better job than what I've done. My class is just about to start. We've got welding theory, so have a great weekend. Hope you've enjoyed the demonstration of the Lincoln Electric Virtual Reality Welding System using the shielded metal arc welding process, otherwise known as manual metal arc or stick welding. Catch you again. Bye bye.